Better leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Gandhi, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Reviews not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I gotta shout out
Started
the
off with a
boy.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in shoes. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. Had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the ride with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us. If you haven't done so, do us a favor, drop some GM in the chat down below, then head up top, smash that like, repost, and bookmark on today's space. We greatly appreciate it. It does warm up the algo, does us a real solid, lets everyone know we're here. You also find up there the link to the abstract chat, the YouTube chat. You're stacking XP in both spots. I mean, everyone's excited for the abstract chat. I can't imagine what the YouTube TGE, or I'm sorry, everyone's excited for abstract TGE. I can't imagine what the YouTube TGE is going to be like. Steve, we lost you on stage, by the way. We'll get you back up here, maybe take a quick lap. But as always, I'm Cap, my co-host Steve. Never any financial advice in the show. Crypto is risky, NFTs are risky, meme coins exception risky. Go to zero to moment notice. Please don't put any money in you can't afford to lose. Know that Steve and I hold tokens we'll talk about from time to time here on the show. We are not financial advisors, certainly not your financial advisor. Please don't join us for financial advice. Just join us for some information, education, and fun along the way. Although you may listen to, not financial advisor per se, but world-renowned investor Ray Dalio, who's recommending 15% of your portfolio in Bitcoin. I concur. GM Steve, how you doing, sir?
Didn't he say Bitcoin or gold? I don't know if he said Bitcoin specifically. I can't remember. I saw it quickly yesterday, but I wasn't.
We're just gonna go with Bitcoin. You can just say things. You can just do things too. I'm drinking ice brewed coffee out of a wine glass this morning, Steve. You can just do things. You can just say things. There's no rules.
Yeah, there are no rules here.
I'm not a scammer after scamming people. And just like I've said, like if someone opens up, if I'm being honest, that's usually your yellow or red flag that they're about to tell you a lie. If they have the disclaimer that they're telling you the truth, like truthful people don't have to do that. They just tell the truth. So if someone opens up, I've never scammed anyone. If you have to disclaimer that, there's a guilty conscience. Like that's like 101 as far as reading people is you don't tell people you're not lying, or you're being honest, or you're not scamming people.
I don't always love. I fell off stage again. I'm going to try this again. I don't always love that logic where people are like, because it's like if you're being accused of something and you respond, people are like, haha, you're guilty, you're responding. Now, like that said, I mean, we can get right into it with the banks thing. I don't like trust a lot of the things that went on there. Here's the thing. I can't say definitively anything. I have no proof. I have no evidence. I think there was a lot of sketchy activity. It feels like if you are like unpacking this from what you can tell, and we'll see what Hayden Davis says when I think he's testifying now in Argentina. I don't know. We'll see what comes out of this thing. By the way, give us a like or retweet, a comment on the room. I know we're starting out hot this morning. GM, Thomas, Teacher Katie, Mesh, all our good friends out there in the chat. It feels like there was a bunch of people who were running sort of a scam, and they had varying levels of involvement with, people, and it would trickle down, and someone would hear from a friend, hear from a friend, who hear from a friend about something that was coming down. They'd get an early contract address. It's a more sinister version of the, alpha for an NFT thing where we would see NFTs move like crazy and then news would come out, like an acquisition or something else comes out. Just a variation of that. It's insider information being traded down the chain of command. But there's enough things that happen that we just ignore from various streams and things that happen that are, oh, hey, like this looks kind of bad. I don't know if Bank scammed anybody or not. I don't know if one in the Bape Cabal or anybody adjacent to that scammed anybody or not. I do know that a lot of stuff really shakes out looking sketchy. I do know that they all made a lot of money. And I will continue to say, like, it's not my game. If you're into meme coins and pump fund coins, good for you. Go get it. Go stream. Go do your thing there. I'm not one that is about that game. And I think people who make a lot of money shilling that to people, it doesn't feel good when people are out there telling you, buy this contract address. I'm going to tell you when I'm going to dump. Oh, I'm going to full port chat. Oh, I sold at just the right time. Early contract addresses on things, rumors that go around about this person dropping a coin. Like, even like when the apology came out, all the people who got accused of it were like, oh, well, there was rumors about Malay dropping this Libra coin for a long time. I don't know. I didn't hear him. Nobody in my circles heard him. And I know that I'm a boomer who's 42 years old and does a morning show that actually cares about the tech type stuff. But like, it's like when people are like, well, there's always been these rumblings of it. So when it came out, and it's like people acting surprised and then sniping the wrong contract address, the way that people acted before, during, and after the scandal, the amount of information that came out about how people were hanging out with him regularly, this guy who basically is accused of this, which again, being on the Jeffrey Epstein list doesn't mean you went to Epstein Island, but it's not the best indicator of things. And so I think like being adjacent to Hayden Davis isn't the best indicator of things. So it is what it is. I mean, I kind of tweeted about it this morning and gave my thoughts on it. It is what it is. People will take breaks, come back. Everyone ignores it. Like multiple people with multiple projects that they will, try to push, and they don't work. And again, the other problem with this though, Cap, the adjacent problem to this is that we say the term scammer and grifter so loosely, the same way we use the term rug so loosely, like when a business fails, that it loses its meaning when somebody calls someone in. It's like, oh, well, everyone just says that about everyone. Oh, you just call everyone a scammer and a grifter. And so it loses its power. It loses its power when you say it about everybody. Like there's that guy who used to come into our space who like the one who begged me to unblock him, and then I didn't, and then he went like scorched earth because he was like over the top. It's like that dude calls like Gary Vaynerchuk a scammer and a grifter and all these things. And it's like, he's probably done the thing most by the book of anybody, but he looks for these little openings to go, oh, Gary's a scammer, Gary's a grifter. He goes through that. It's like, by him using those terms and calling someone who is a legitimate business person, who's probably the most scrutinized person in the space, if you look at it, or has the opportunity to be, if there's anybody you can make an example out of, it'll be him, yet he walks clean for obvious reasons. Like, I'm a fan of Gary, I'm a fan of Andy, I'm a fan of VFriends and what they built. But for the fact that there's like a guy out there who like writes threads and things on that, it's like, yeah, if you're going to do that, it loses its power when people actually scam and grift. So, and rant, but that's kind of my take this morning as we go on to that. It's one of those mornings where you feel disenfranchised a little bit with some stuff, because it's like, Banks is like, I'm taking a break. Again, I don't know if Banks want to grift anyone. He's going to be back though. He'll be back in like 3-4 months, and everyone will be like, oh, Banks is back, return. I can't believe it. Welcome back, King. And like, again, I don't know if he scammed or grifted anybody. He's not my cup of tea personally, but like I know people like him. I know he's got like sort of some legendary roots and things. It's just we're so desperate to have celebrities and people with clout in the space that I think sometimes we just ignore if there's potential red flags or people are even like I even saw him like forget about like his if he did anything right or wrong. The acumen of like listening to how he would talk when like he would just like whatever Frank said or whatever anyone else said and the way he like sort of went about things never felt quite right. So I don't know, just doesn't feel like my bag. It's a frustrating morning, I guess, in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not frustrated with it. I think it's they got what they had coming. Like they bought Bundle Token, they promoted it, they dumped on Aiden and other people, and like you can't like he says he sold all his at a loss, maybe. You know, the bubble maps looks pretty. I was pulling that up a little bit ago. Like it was clearly a bundled token. A lot of funny business going on with that token. It's just these people, they know, like maybe not banks, but the ones he was close to know the space very well. I have a hard time believing they didn't know what they were doing. And I don't know Aiden and Banks, but my understanding they go pretty far back. They're boys, and for Aiden to come out like. I tend to side with there was more than just number go down. I think there was some funny business that went on, and if not, why would they all left how they did? Like it seems pretty. I mean, Be Epic sums it up in the chat. If it looks like a pig and smells like a pig, probably a pig.
Yeah, it's like the leaving thing. It's like, oh, I'm really mad because all you people were mad and accused us of doing something bad. And it's like, I don't know, like a couple people stuck it out and we're here through it. It's just, the whole thing feels sketchy. It feels sketchy from the get-go. It felt sketchy from the jump. I said the whole thing felt sketchy during the meme coin cycle and got killed for it because I'm like, this feels like a bunch of insider information trading things around. People are like, hey, guy, it's no different than NFTs, right? Like people know when announcements are coming or things. Yeah, there's some of that for sure. And there's problems with that. But like the difference here is monumental when you think about, hey, you're going to get a contract address where you could throw $1,000 at something and it'll be $100,000 in a short period of time. Get ready for the drop. We're playing a game. Oh, like the distribution channel. Like it's a thing where it's like, were you part of it or were you used? Because like both of those things feel true at the moment, right? It's like, again, I don't know. I don't have any hard evidence, so I'm not trying to accuse people of doing anything, but it feels weird that, you know, the hit rate was so good. And then the Libra scandal happens and suddenly the hit rate's not so good. Like we're not seeing P&Ls from Photon and all these other places saying like, look at how much money I made on this.
Clearly just coincidence. Currently no business going on. Just coincidence.
Just a total coincidence that after the scandal went down, all of a sudden the great P&L traders who are posting constant wins, who are the greatest traders of all time, aren't anymore. And look, maybe there still are people who are, but it's like, it feels like there was a agreement on certain tokens. You were going to, you know, the streamers were the distribution channel, whether they were useful idiots or whether they were, you know, people who ended up, you know, were part of like a dump scandal. I don't know. It's also funny when they're like, look at my public wallet that I show as if I don't have other wallets that says that I didn't dump. It's like the idea that somebody could buy on stream, it could go up tremendously and there could be someone who would dump it who is completely unrelated. That also feels possible. So I don't know. It's just, it is what it is. I'm not like, it was never my game. So I'm not educated enough to make the full on critiques or discussions as they relate to what happened there. But to your point, like to have somebody who came up with you in the streaming circuit and is friends with you for that long and is no longer friends with you over something, like it feels like they would want something that would be a pretty big, like there's a pretty big reason for that. It doesn't feel like that's just a thing you throw away on a whim. So I don't know, but it is what it is with that. It's not my bag. It's never been in my bag. I generally am more of the, you know, tech guy when it comes to this stuff and more of the community building guy. But it does make me, it's like, there are things that do make me like slightly disenfranchised with Web3 and crypto in this sector of that we exist in particular. And stuff like this is part of it.
Yeah, feels good. We got that out of the way in the cold open. So probably maybe could have flew by the day without mentioning it, but was popping on the timeline, and glad we knocked that one out. We can move on to more exciting things. What's on your tick list today?
Relatively small one today. I mean, PayPal I thought was kind of interesting. I had the scammer thing, proof of play teasing the new Pirate Nation thing.
I missed PayPal. What did PayPal do?
So PayPal has kind of announced this pay with crypto idea where they have this new payment method allowing merchants to reach a bunch of customers, and basically users can use a bunch of cryptocurrencies to sort of pay with crypto is something that they're looking to integrate. So to me, that's really interesting because paying with crypto is better for businesses, period. Like, I don't think people realize if you're a small business, the opportunity to get like 2 to 5% back on your bottom line by using pay with crypto instead of a credit card option, particularly stable coins, is pretty huge. So boring one there. That's interesting. And then Doodles are their first water cooler since they let their team go. Have some thoughts, both positive and negative on that, but worth, maybe kind of giving a flyover on some of the summary that happened there. So what about you?
I mean, maybe start there because I think we got a passive aggressive shot taken at us, which is fine.
It looks like we might have. So I want to start with like some of the positive on that. I'll go over the whole thing. I said it yesterday, and I think the short.
By the way, I'm not even like true, like, and we'll send a follow-up DM. Like, welcome on the stage anytime. Burnt Toast, the Doodles team, like, we're just commentating on what we hear in the space, and we'll talk about the water cooler, but the stage is open. We've had you on the team on dozens of times in the last few years, and the stage is always open if you want to come up and speak for yourselves versus us just commentating on what we believe to be true.
Yeah, I mean, community may or may not like it, right? It's like they like it when we're talking good, when we're talking bad, suddenly I'm like a horrible person, which is always interesting to see in the chats and in the Discords when it's like, as somebody who's been more supportive of Doodles than pretty much anybody who is in the position that we're in for the past, 4 years, it's always interesting when you have like, 17 to 20 like shows where you talk at least that's just like interview type thing. You have 50 shows where you're bullish, and then you have like 2 where you're like, hey, I don't like that. And it's like, oh, these guys are just grifters who don't know what they're talking about. Like, people love that term. They're just clout chasers. But I will say on the positive note, I saw the first Doodles transmission, laughed out loud. I thought it was very good. I think doubling down on the IP is something they should do. I mean, like, they are at their core should be a content company. So I think that makes sense. I think that's a good call. I think they had a lot of distractions that got in the way of that. But I'll kind of give the sticker dude. Etan was on our stage the other day giving an opinion, a countering opinion to us, which we love. Talked about the water cooler a little bit. I don't know why I didn't like that because I commented on it. So let's go through piece by piece here. They said, Burnt Toast jump off. It goes, first off, the exits. Yes, a few employees left, but as Burnt Toast made it clear, it wasn't some massive unraveling. This is not a mass exodus, which is funny because we use the term mass exodus on our space, and he tweeted this during the space. So who knows? He said, Doodles is a 37 plus employees, creative, tech, and brand. Look, again, I'm not going to be the guy. I love the dudes. I'm not trying to wake up and choose violence, but I don't want to be that guy. But I've been told at least 2 to 3 people left on the business side. Your CEO has left in the past 6 months. Your biz dev left. Your product team left. If I'm doing quick math on this, you lost 15 to 20% of your workforce in 6 months. That's a mass exodus. Like, and again, it's okay.
Maybe someone to say it's fit. You got to be more than 50%. But I think of like I just calling it like it is. It's not. It's like could be a good thing. Probably a good thing. Like refocusing, smaller team, get leaner, reduce the burn. But it's a mass exodus, and
right,
like how you said, like how many of those 37 employees are Golden Wolf employees, which is fine, but it's just
How many are working on the brand of Doodles versus Golden Wolf? Again, I'm not like saying this as a knock. Like, you just talk about communications and marketing, again, messaging type things. It's like probably would have been fine to say like we've had a lot of people leave. That's what happens when you have a shift in direction.
Yeah,
and that's how you get leaner, work better, and focus on the right things. Like being like, this is not a mass exodus. It's like your CEO plus 15 to 20% of your workforce leaving, turning over at the very least in the last 6 months is a pretty big exodus, including your entire product team in the last month and your biz dev lead. So like probably worth saying on there. So I think, again, not meant to be a knock as much as it's just a, like, I just think there's better ways. We talk about communication in this space. I laugh because like I've talked about, like I should start a communications firm, but nobody cares. Nobody cares if they get the communications wrong or that it can tangibly improve their brand value, their perception in the market, or how they do things. Everyone thinks that they just kind of say what they say. It's like, yeah, like we'll say it's not a mass exodus, a few employees left, like more than a few employees left. The bottlenecks, this part I agree with. I think we both talked about too slow, too expensive, too much friction between ideas and output. So what do? They build an AI engine to train and replicate precious doodle lines and style, more and less time. So Dottie, the CEO of Golden Wolf, who a lot of people say Dottie is a stone cold killer. I'm looking forward to hearing more from her. I think she could be good. But holders will be able to pump out content at their own pace. You can now animate your NFT at level or doodle pseudo quality to videos. So they're basically saying like they're taking pieces of DreamNet that can help you animate and work with your doodle. It sounds like pretty cool. I like that idea. I've always thought that brands, and again, here's your take on this because we talk about IP a lot. I've always thought that brands should do more with their IP. I've always thought they should give you the ability to make more GIFs. I've always thought they should give you the ability to use your IP in different ways because that's how you proliferate it, by empowering your community to do so. And now the technology exists. So if they're rolling out technology to do so, it seems like a good idea, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a miss for pretty much. I mean, I'm going to give proper credit. I guess, obviously, Pudgies, Chimpers, but really, I mean, the power. We've seen the power of community. We've seen the power of Web3. We've seen the network effects. It works. There's already like organically a lot of user generated content. I think it's been a miss for most of the crypto native brands, most of the NFT native brands, to not have better tools to help these users, holders, collectors, community members, ambassadors create more user generated content, right? Like, salute to Yuga for bringing in Dashbo into their native website. Like it's great tech, and like that stuff should be, I don't want to say it's table stakes. I know there's actual lift there, but for these companies leaning into this, I do think it's, I mean, maybe saying table stakes is going too far with it, but I think anyone who's really about proliferating a brand in crypto and Web3 and with an NFT community, user-generated content tools, I think, should be at the top of the priority list. So yeah, I love to see this.
Yeah, agree. I think it's just it is a great way to empower people, especially with the IP, which I think Doodles has great IP, and I think there is something magnetic about it. No matter who you are, when I show it to most people, they find it magnetic and interesting. I remember when I had Doodles in my banner, when I had a banner of NFTs I owned, and my buddy was like, the Doodle just pops and sticks out. And like, I know my kids would like it and want Doodles everywhere I went. So anyway, good on that. What about Dude, the token? It's not about making a utility coin or for some open protocol. It's about doing what we do best. Everybody knows Doodles is Web3 Pixar. I don't know. Everybody knows that. Dude is going to billions. Not a whole lot there. So sounds like they're moving Dude into a meme coin, not a brand coin, as we're defining it anymore. Unless
and DreamNet is officially killed, right? Is that was my interpretation? Is DreamNet like?
I think that's later. I think that's later in the thread. But pause for a second. Thoughts on Dude as a meme coin? Like I don't know that it has viability now. It feels like this is now a distraction for them that they've created that they have no choice and they've opened Pandora's box on, right?
Yes. Dude was simply a liquidity event for the team holders, and Doug Key says IP coin was the term used. I don't. I just don't know what I don't know what that means. I don't know what
you can just say stuff, I guess,
whatever that means.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's call what you want. I just, with zero utility, it's not a good meme. I don't know what IP coin means. I don't see how it goes to, but what's the thesis? How does it go to billions? Who's buying this?
Right. And
who's buying Dude and why? What is the thesis? Like you ask, why would I buy Rekt? I could spend the whole show giving you my thesis on Rekt and how they're voting that brand coin. Same thing with Pingu. Same thing with Ape. Same thing with Billy. And honestly, same thing with Fartcoin. Like I actually have a thesis on a pure meme play. I'm not trying to be smart. I'm not trying to take shots. I just don't understand. Like what's going to send it to billions? What is it? And who's buying it? Because it just seemed like a token that was launched for I thought it was launched to be a utility token inside of DreamNet and part of that ecosystem. That's not it. Yeah, I don't. I don't get it. But it's just me. Like I said, I'm still holding my doodle. I just don't. I did sell my dude. I don't know what it is, and you can't just launch a token and expect it to go to billions because it's a token tied to your brand. Like there has to be something, and something can be just a good meme. But this is dude isn't a meme.
Yeah, like you said, it's not a good meme. It's not a meme. Period. Right? It's like so. I don't like. It feels like the team is stuck on this one because
now they're stuck with it. I think that's it. It's like now what do we got to do with this thing? I guess call it IP coin, and maybe we see some new primitive. I'm not counting on that though.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. This is why, like, I was talking to a friend the other day, like a friend who's like pretty connected in the space, and I'm like, has any brand ever successfully launched a coin and see it work for them? And it's like a couple, but like long term, like on the short term, no, it always does damage, and on the long term, it's a lot of work. Rekt is working, but it's been a lot of work. Pengu's working, but it is and continues to be a lot of work, and they take it very seriously. Luca talks about it constantly. So it's like, it just, brands like don't generally have success launching coins. The failure rate is almost entirely there. Like it's almost 100% a failure rate as far as like the success versus like what you get out of it. And it's like, it's liquidity events, but it was like, oh, we're launching dude, and like, now you've been staking, so you're getting a token. The token's going to be great. Like, okay, well, what does that do? Oh, it's going to power DreamNet, and it's going to do everything. And there are these long threads that talked about tokens and secondary tokens. Well, now it's like, it's not that anymore. And now as a team, you have the choice to, like, is Burnt Toast going to be talking about this as often as Lucan talks about Pengu? Is like, are they going to be talking about why there's a proliferation of the dude? And so I just, that part, it's like, now they're stuck with this product that exists forever, that they have to like try to reconcile with the IP they're building. So I don't know, but Dude to Billions doesn't feel, unless they have some serious market makers, doesn't feel great.
Yeah. I don't think, maybe you could scam pump it from 30 million to $1 billion. I don't see it. I don't like, I'm really reaching to try to connect some dots here. And it's just like, I'm not to get a shot at Sticker Dude, a fan, but the future is dude, IP, culture, and coin. No distractions seems like a distraction. Like dude and coin seems like a distraction. And maybe I'm just mid-curving this and I'm not seeing it. And that wouldn't be the first thing I've mid-curved. I've tried. I'm just not getting it.
Well, a couple things about this. Well, I'll give like a summary on my thoughts at the end, but like they said, so what about DreamNet? Doodles is doubling down on what matters most, building in public, adapting real time, and staying true to the core IP. DreamNet, cool concept, but not aligned with that mission. The future is dude, IP, culture, and coin, as you mentioned there, and a second ago. So it sounds like no distractions. Sounds like they're getting rid of DreamNet and they're going to take the best, shelve it and take the best parts. I think it's the right decision. Nobody understood DreamNet. We're talking about DreamNet for 7 months. We don't know what DreamNet is. It's not a knock on anybody who was building it. It just didn't come to fruition. Like maybe it was a big swing that we never understood. But
do you think there's any chance that the trio that just left is going to go do their own version of DreamNet? Like, do you think one of them was the main driver of that, and they're going to go do their own thing now, similar to what the vision of DreamNet was?
Maybe. I honestly don't know what they're going to do. Like, it sounds like the three of them are cooking up something. It would probably make sense given like that's what they were probably working on.
It, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what they were working on. So I think there's legitimacy to that, but I don't know. Like, I legitimately don't know. And I basically have told them, hey, let us know when you're ready to talk about what you're building. I can't wait to hear about it because I do think all of them are really smart and talented. So shall see. But yeah, this is like this is one is confusing where I'm like, I get the future being IP and trying to build on that and trying to actually go back to the basics to build a brand, but the dude part just doesn't seem to fit. The community, 145 community leads, active, aligned, amplifying. I think they're basically saying people who are in this meeting. Doodles is coming back to its Web3 roots, not just building for culture, but with it, more replies with the community, turn post noties on, more bravado with confidence. So I guess, again, this is the part that concerns me and what concerned me about Burnt Toast announcement. It just sounds like 2021. It's like IP, vibes, token to the moon. And like, I'm trying to say this without like coming up too critical, because again, I think the IP is good and what they're built. Like, I think they're good at building. I think they're good at cranking out sort of the shorts and things, and I think those will continue to be good. But like, I don't think it should be an announcement or a necessary thing to say you're going to amplify and help the community, right? It's like this is table stakes on a community-based brand, is community. Like, in the book that I wrote with the 5 elements of the NFT staircase, identity and community are 2 of the 5. 40% has to do with this. Like, I'm not quite sure I understand like how this is like a groundbreaking thing, if that makes sense. It's like, so you're going to reply to the community, amplify the community. It's great they're saying it, and maybe it's just like, hey, like, just so you know, like, we've lost this, but like, this is table stakes.
Yeah. Real quick, because I see him out there. I know you gave our shout outs, some few shout outs in the GMs earlier there. Just want to shout out to Carlito, see him out there. So he's been a while. Good to see you as always, friend. We've got 1 in a million, another OG on the stage. Great to see all of our friends. Quick question for the abstractors. I'm getting showed a meme coin in the abstract chat. Is abstract wallet the best way to swap? What is the leading DEX on abstract? I've not been in the.
There's a DEX that you can use, but I just end up doing it right in the wallet just because
I'm trying to buy some of this, and it's giving me like price impact of -5% when I'm buying, not selling. I don't understand it, so it's not that big of an amount. I'll probably just click the buy button, but I'll just swap. I'll get like $10 now and come back later for more.
Yeah, I'm not sure I have even the right CA on it. So I saw there was like 5 things from the one that people were talking about in the chat, so I didn't grab it. So anyway, I don't know if you have thoughts on that, but apparently Doodles, the community-based brand, is now going to engage the community, which I think is good. Like, I think it's something they've always had an opportunity to do a little bit better, but like, and maybe it was just a flyover comment, but he put it in the thread, but like, this feels like table stakes to this sort of brand, no?
Yeah. I truly, like, I just hope I'm missing something, because it's just not. It's great they had 145 people active in there, communicate, engaging and participating. I just and they also, there's still this big partnership they've teased, right? That I don't know. I don't even have a guess what it might be.
Yeah, I don't either. They said, okay, now
I don't get it. I mean, like, you thought it was funny. I might need help explaining. My brain is just not wired maybe for. I just.
Wait, for what? I thought what was
short,
funny?
First transmission. Oh. I didn't get it.
I liked it. I thought it was funny. It was just like a silly little short where they're using the animation to do something fun. I thought it was funny. I laughed. Don laughed. I enjoyed it. I think they're good at them.
Did you watch Happy Gilmore 2 yet?
I've not yet. Hopefully, I probably won't even get to it till this weekend, because it's a whole nother story I'm not going to get into. But probably won't get to it this weekend.
I agree with Iceman here. Like, am I taking crazy pills? Like, why are? I know it's hard. I know it takes work, but I haven't seen others attempt the rec playbook yet. It clearly works. Like, it is hard work, but most things worth doing is hard work. Like, I'm like actually shocked. I'm almost as shocked we haven't seen more people attempt to duplicate the rec playbook, the brand coin playbook, as I was shocked for 6 months that Pump Fund just maintained 95% market share in the meme coin launchpad arena. By the way, I don't know, but if you saw that, I don't think we hit on it yesterday. It's bonks at like 80%, 86%, pumps at 8%. Like, they just, and there's now 27 launch pads on Solana. So as far as shocked as I was that it took so long for anyone to start cannibalizing some of the Pump Fund market share, I'm equally as shocked that since the success of the brand coin, since the rec paper, am I right in saying we haven't seen not even one other brand announce a brand coin or say, hey, we love this model, it's working. Here's our rec paper. Here's our brand coin paper. Like, that hasn't happened, right? Like, no one else has even attempted this.
Yeah, but I think it's still kind of new as far as the opportunity there, where it's like, if you distributed a token and you gave out so much to the community and investors and all these other people, you're not exactly sitting on the coin to do that, and you maybe don't have the levers to pull quite yet.
You know, so who's going to do it? I'm going to put him on the spot and say our guy Bunchy's going to do it with Billy. Billy's going to be the first to run back the brand coin. Congratulations both on the migration. We'll talk about it on Thursday, but also big raise. I'll put it up top. Billy raised announced $1 million round. Not quite 100 million yet. That'll be the next raise, but no, $1 million round raise for Billy. Congrats to Bunch and the team, and excited that they're on base, and I think things are going to start heating up over there.
I got to figure out how to get my Billy export the keys to the wallet off the Billy platform though, so I could stake it. Golden Wolf, let's not forget about the commercial studio that Doodles acquired. They've been crushing it behind the scenes, from Fortnite to fast food giants to big name clients we can't even name. NDA Life, TLDR, they're booked and busy. I mean, they're so booked and they're busy. I mean, really busy. From Dottie, which I believe Golden Wolf is busy. I think they're really good. I think that's a secret weapon they have. And then lastly, partnerships. Something is brewing, dropping late August. Not the big one people have been whispering about. So something's going to happen in August, but not the big one. Super excited for what's ahead. They make a couple speculations. They're doing some sort of a Red Bull thing. They might be partnering with Twix, people might say. And then there's apparently one other big one coming pretty soon. So a quick summary thought, and then I'll kind of get your thoughts on it. And I know we want to get 1 in a million in here.
Also, any of the abstract trenchers, that guy should just drop in the abstract chat. Why? I'm going to get another small, really small thing of this Amy coin. But it's the same thing. It's doing it again. It's like -5, and it gives a big warning. I just don't understand why it is in the price. It didn't. I don't think it impacted the price negatively, but it's giving me this big pop up. High price impact. The trade has a high price impact, may result in significant loss. I click, I understand, and the swap goes through just fine. But
is it the Amy one with the picture of the lady's face? Which one is it? I don't know which one it is.
Just go to, if you go to Explore and sort by 24-hour volume, it's the top volume.
All right, I need to figure that out. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's point is, on the Doodles thing, I struggle with this because it feels like they they didn't necessarily again, this is the communication stuff. Not that it matters to anybody in the space, but when you have an announcement like this, where you let go of a major group of people and you have a shift in direction, usually you want to say, this is the clear direction and this is what we plan on doing. Oh, the dude token, this is our plan for it. These are our next 4 things. We want to announce this, this, and this. Whenever there's been a major change at the top, there is a very clear reason, discussion, and layout for what's happening. It just didn't happen here. And I think that that's the frustrating part to me is I see this stuff and it feels like none of this ties together. It doesn't feel like there was a common theme. It doesn't feel like they kind of had things lined up. And I'm rooting for them. I think that the short was good. I'm glad they're doubling down on that, but I just don't see a plan or a path forward here.
I could guess some paths forward. I genuinely I'm curious what these announcements they keep teasing or talking about, but you can only do that so long. And I think that's maybe part of it. It's we've been getting the kick the can down the road with the announcement for a while. And it does seem like we're kind of it's funny. Yesterday we're talking about the space is mature and move forward. And now it's I feel like we have opened the first 30 minutes to show talking about 2021 stuff with scammers and very vague announcements and speculation. Also, real quick, appreciate the shout out from, I don't know, I think it might be Kazi. The abstract address ends in KZ, but it says they just use Relay Bridge or buy using the main page Relay Bridge that supports abstract coins, the main one. So appreciate the heads up. I just ended up swapping in the abstract wallet. It went through just fine. And that's actually maybe I do have meme coins in my wallet that have been tipped to me, greatly appreciated. I don't think I've actually bought a meme other than Pingu, which I bought in Bridge. I don't think I've bought any of the other memes on Abstract. I got a little grind in there, but that was an allocation, I think. Have you played at all in the meme streets on Abstract?
I got a bunch.
Oh yeah.
We
should probably hit on this because I think this is probably, from what I've seen some people that are just printing on XP that are pretty new, and I think they just came in and bought big meme bags. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a few, but before we jump into that, I know 1 in a million. I think wanted to talk Doodle. So let's get 1 in a million in here, then we can maybe pivot some abstract memes, and we can talk other things in the day. But 1 in a million, I know you had thoughts on this, so get in here, GM.
Hey, GM boys, you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we do. You may want to change the PFP. I don't own it anymore, so you probably have to get permission from the person who does.
I know you're really killing me, Steve, with that because I don't know what to do now. Right now,
Hilarious.
So yes, this for everyone listening. This is Steve's PFP that my wife painted because she found it in his banner that he was talking about earlier, and it was the one that stuck out. And she said, "I want to start painting PFPs." So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out. But the reason it came up, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills a little bit, but hopefully you guys can help me. So I'm trying to start my community, my brand, and the TGE thing. I don't understand why people don't start it with day one. So if that makes sense, like I'm thinking, hey, I just want to give everyone who buys one of my shirts the token. So do you guys have any thoughts on why people don't start that and they do it later, or anyone in the community?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is you want the token to have some value, so it takes some time to build up to that. You could, I mean, you could launch your token and launch. I think this is what we're going to see. I think we're going to see brands. The best way to do this, the team has to hold back tokens. 50, 60, 70, 80%. I don't know the exact number. You could do it with less than that for sure, but you got to have a lot of tokens, so you can control and people aren't just dumping to send it to zero. But yeah, you could do the first time you sell product, you do a claim and you get token in exchange. Like that's how that's happened with Rec Drinks from their very first drink launch, but they launched the coin prior so that they could build some momentum and some value accrual before the token. Because if you sell a product and you can go claim a token and the token isn't in the wild yet, or the first time that if someone buys a shirt and they're the first person to claim, the token's going to have most likely zero value. And
yeah,
liquidity.
But that's kind of my point, right? Like, I don't care if it has zero value now. I want to add value. Like, I feel like that's what all these companies are missing. Like, I want them to be part of my community.
Yeah, I mean, I think just my one man's opinion, but I think the more optimal way to do that, in my opinion, would be with an NFT first to build the community and get your team going, and then strategically launch. Like, tokens are hard, like very, very hard. And I understand what you're saying, but I think there's a much greater chance of it actually accruing value and building value if you follow some of the playbook that others that have had success, like Rec, have done. You got to create some sort of momentum. Very challenging to do. And I think it's probably more optimal to start with the NFT, build that community, build the support, and then after you get some momentum, some network effects brewing, I think that's when a token comes into play best. But I do think we're going to see others to do the same thing you just described. We just haven't seen it yet.
Sorry, that's like exactly what I'm thinking. Like, the NFT comes first with the purchase of the product, as well as the token. So I don't really understand why it's not working that way right now with all the businesses.
I mean, it's working with those who've tried it. Just note, few have attempted it yet.
Yeah, I think the thing about it is, like, this is why, like, it's more complicated to that, in my opinion. By the way, Machiavelli agrees with me. The Doodle short is really good, but I don't know if that's enough, but it does hit. So Machiavelli likes it too. I'll say this before because I'm guessing Kyra's going to go abstract means. If not, we'll go other directions with it anyway. But like, the thing about it is, like, when you talk about coins, like, it's a lot of work. Like, it's not just I dropped a token, like, let's watch it moon. It's, you need to work for it. You need to work for your bags. You need to have a reason for it. And like, to me, it's like, the reason the token works for Rect is because Rect built a brand for. That's why, like we said, like, when I say results atypical, do not try this at home. Ovi built a personal brand for a long period of time in this space. Ovi built a really good PFP brand that has great art and it plays on a meme in the space. Then he released this really great, gave equity to those holders. They did drop a token, released a really great drink brand. After building all this equity, now it's like, oh, I see this. I want to support this because it's there. Like, people need to feel something and a reason to buy and hold, because otherwise you're like, hey, I drop you a token. You don't care if it has value. Like, I don't think you accrue the value afterwards, because then you're starting from a position of, sort of negative brand equity. Instead, I think it's like you build really good brand equity where people are like, oh my God, I want a token from these people. I want to hold it. I want to see where it goes. And then it gets more momentum and motion that way. And I think, that's the challenge when I talk about brand coins being like not necessarily a repeatable model that's easy. The reason the repeatable model is so easy for a lot of people, I have no idea what Cap's doing behind him, by the way. There's like a weird DM on your screen or something.
Yeah, I sent the Ray Dalio now recommending 15% of your port in Bitcoin. And it's got a phone number. Let me hide it. Never mind. One of my friends who is an actual financial advisor in this pickers thread, he basically just he called me out on the same thing you just did. He's like, I read the article, 15% in Bitcoin and gold. He says majority of that in gold, but he does like Bitcoin. He likes both currency debasement. He likes both for currency debasement. He's just old school and likes gold better than Bitcoin, but should serve the same purpose in portfolio. So yeah, I got by one of the Bitcoin maxis on the headlines I saw. Didn't read the article, so thanks for the correction.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, I was going to say, like, I think like building a brand coin, I don't think it's just as simple as like you buy a product, you get a coin. I think you need brand equity and then you have a coin as a reward. But the challenge is long-term. You need to really build against that and work for that and have a reason for it if your reputation is good. So I think that part is an important part to note about this. And it's one of the reasons why, like, again, we're not trying to just like hammer on him, but why it's tough for Doodles to be like, Doodle billions. It's like, you're going to have to work for that. So what are you going to do? Are you going to be on the phone with market makers in Wales? Are you going to tell them there's reasons to buy? Are you going to tell them there's reasons to hold? Are you going to be talking to Van Eck and all these other companies about whether they should have it in ETFs and other things? Like, the amount of work that Luca is doing for Pengu is massive. The amount of work that Ovi is doing for Rekt. Think about it. Ovi tweets about Rekt all the time and talks about why the thesis is there and where it makes sense and when you distribute it and talks about how much money you get because you bought it. Oh, you bought a $10 and retweets other people who are talking about it and has his community raid people who are talking about it. It is an entire new section of business. So I don't know. It's a thing to manage. And I think people just think like, oh, drop a token. Like, that's an exit liquidity event. And it could be, but it's the amount of work that goes into it. It's like me being like, oh, you know what? I think I want to start a business. You don't just start a business. It's a lot. So, in any case, that's my take on that. 1 in a million. I'll let you respond to that real quick, and then we'll keep moving. We'll go to Cairo in a sec.
Sorry, like, I just totally agree with you, and I don't see why other people don't see that. Like, my whole point was, I want to reward these people from day one. And I don't understand why. I'll basically say it's worth zero right now, but let's build the brand together. Like you said, it's new, but it seems so obvious to me.
Yeah, I think like the question is why would someone want to build a brand and what they are? Like, there has to be a strong thesis to that. And again, you can equally do that with NFTs off the bat before you release a fungible token, which has volatility and brings in a whole bunch of new problems and a whole new ball of wax. So, yeah, I think it's like
a bonus.
I guess it's like you have to like I don't like it, and I don't
talk about it. It's not like there's got to be something. There has to be some goodwill in the brand. Otherwise, it's going to be a token they claim and never do anything with. It just sits there, and like it's really hard to create goodwill. Like, it doesn't just happen. Like, it's really hard to create brand equity. It doesn't just happen because you ship a product. Like, it's much easier said than done. And there are tactics, there's mechanics, there's things you can do to prop up the price of a token. But to just give someone a token with a purchase, yeah, you can say, hey, this is like just like loyalty points, and maybe over the course of several years. But the reality is, it takes, in most cases, many years, multiple years, 3 to 5 years, usually at minimum, for brands to even attain any sort of scale where there's even like local brand equity, let alone globally recognized brand equity. Like, I think what you're saying can be done at like a small business level, but it's like, I think if you were to introduce that in this space, it probably never gets out of the starting blocks because our perceptions of money here and market caps, it's so skewed that we think to be successful, Brandcoin needs to be $500 million market cap like Rekt ran up to. The reality is, for what you're describing for a small business, those brand coins are like $100,000 market cap, $200,000 market cap. Maybe one runs up to $1 million. That would be a massive success and massive win if you're talking like a brand new startup small business that just, you know, selling t-shirts and here's our loyalty program to go with it. It takes either massive swings and big deals or a lot of time to really build any sort of material brand equity.
Yeah. I want to keep moving on this one, though, just because I think otherwise we're going to get really deep into the weeds of what we're doing as far as building and things like that. And I think like we end up going down a bunch of different routes. I just think like it's not a thing that you can do very easily right off the rip. I think it has to be thoughtful. And by the way, again, it isn't just like you launch a token, you're like, yay, token exists. You are talking about managing a section of a business, which requires, again, I would point people to Luca and I would point people to OSF. And I would see the amount of work that they are currently doing to try to make those coins run. And the fact of the matter is, like, you know, people can say buy dips, whatever. It's like Rekt is down almost 20% today with all that work. And it's in a down market. It's going to move with the market oftentimes, red days, etc. Pengu is down a ton today. They're due a ton of work. They're talking about traditional finance. So in any case, let's Cairo, I know you want to get in here. Cairo, go ahead and get in here on anything you want, GM.
Yo, GM, Captain, GM Steve. It's been a minute since NFT Paris. Still nostalgic about it. Was really a lot of fun. I really love the topic. I also love when I scroll down the audience in Captain with Company. You're approaching episode 1000 very soon. I think you're gonna reach it this year. I love all the different PFPs in here, like all these penguins, all the Kalito. Also, we didn't talk in a minute. How you doing, bro? The apes, you know, the plague, all these different, the mixture you have in your audience. Big kudos for you. I think we could talk forever about this. I really studied apes, what they did, and the guys who know me for a minute knew I had very, very high hopes on ApeChain, which apparently, me personally, I lost all hope, and I'm very sad about the recent developments. I'm really feeling sorry for the community at the moment. I still hope they're gonna do a turnaround. And for me personally, I just found I love crypto. I'm doing it full time for 8 years. And I'm super interested in what is happening with AI, right? A lot of people still think, oh, what is AI doing? What is it? Is it going to be evil? It has similar type of vibes what crypto had in the beginning, where everybody thought, is this a scam? Is this something evil just for like buying drugs in a darknet places? So I found something for myself. And what One in a Million was talking about, just in general, there are so many factors. And just like Steve was saying, I am studying Luca Netz like probably on a daily basis. What is he doing? How is he like presenting the brand? His timing is like just like crazy timing. The guy is so much like crazy timing. So I know Abstract TGE is going to come. I saw Abstract August is about to come. They're cooking something again. So I just thought to myself, you know, I want to do something with AI. It can evolve into something. And you also have to look a little bit at the timing. You will never time the markets perfectly, but we had a big streaming meta on Abstract in the beginning. Then we had a big NFT meta. Then we had some kind of like gambling meta. And over the last, I would say 1 or 2 weeks, it was meme coins, right? So for meme coins, Finn was saying yesterday they will give extra XP. So now's the time, right? And this is only the start. And there's a lot of work. Also, like you guys said, once you start it, you need to do it. And last thing I wanted to add, again, what Luca said, if you're launching a token, you have to be prepared that it will go down, right? You cannot expect a coin to go up only. And if it goes down, just like keep building. That's just my 2 cents I wanted to add. Thank you, guys.
I mean, on the topic of meme coins, The coffee with Captain Pump is real this morning, Steve. That I $50 I just threw into Amy is already 100. GG to the.
I didn't end up swapping. I didn't end up swapping. I made a mistake. I was like, hey, I don't love this this price action on it, so I
You check your wallet. I think Amy might have tipped you something.
Oh, so yeah, it didn't 2x. It just I got a tip maybe. Thank you very much.
That's nice. Yeah, I know. I own some abstract memes. I mean, it is worth saying, like, on abstract, like, maybe some opportunities in the meme streets there. Again, I am not a meme coiner. I just sort of like followed Eli on some things and was
wait a second. It came from Amy. So you're saying this is an AI agent that just tipped me? Explain what happened here. Is that a human that just sent me the Amy tip? What happened?
So as of right now, it's still kind of 50-50. So the agent already, she has her own HW, her own wallet. That's where she deployed the token from, and it was from an AI script that she deployed. This donation, I sent this manually because it's still like 50-50. But the goal to evolve this into is that like Amy becomes more autonomous and is learning more skill and evolving over time. So as of right now, it's still 50-50. But at one point, it should be completely autonomous.
Got it. Well,
I like the market. I like the marketing strategy. I also have 100 Amy.
New all-time high on my on our abstract tip orders. Appreciate you, Cairo.
Yeah, appreciate it very much. And yeah, I'm sitting on my 100 Amy as well that I'm looking at. So maybe I will. You know what though? That's a good encouragement reason to buy more, because I'm like, hey, if I'm free rolling on $100 worth, why not buy a little bit more? So I'm actually going to go ahead and buy myself a little bit more Amy as we speak. Again, not financial advice. Don't try this at home. Results atypical. All those good things. But yeah, I am
every time I buy a token, if the dev sends me an equal amount, like that's good tech.
That's a good tech. That's real good tech.
Should have bought 500.
I will say this. I basically went and I saw Eli posting about abstract memes. I've seen a couple of people posting out abstract memes. I think one of the sexy things to do now is people talk about their abstract like P&L, which I don't know. Like I saw like Beast post about it. It sounds like he got like a bunch of Final Bosu or Final Basu early on and flipped them, and then he gotten some memes early and put some big size towards them and traded out. Like very cool. Sounds like our guy Drew Crit actually did pretty well. I've just sprinkled like 50 to 75 here and there on some memes, and I basically just asked Eli. I'm like, look, you're in the abstract streets. You're constantly covering the memes. Which ones are interesting and why? I just want to have some exposure. I'm also going to be curious in my XP this week. I don't have massive liquidity numbers of exposure to my abstract memes, but I have, some money spread over a bunch. And if one of them just absolutely cooks, great. But if they go up, like my theory on it is, if it's being pushed by the team, if abstract itself continues to grow, meme coins and abstract could be a little bit of opportunity. So I haven't moved with like massive size on anything, but I own, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 abstract memes in my wallet of varying sort of like little bits here and there. And,
you have a lot of badges too, right? So they only gave 150 XP for the badge itself, but there is a lot of hopium that the amount of badges will add up into the equation upon TGE.
Yeah, I wonder. I'll say this, and like this is like just a thought on TGE. People have extremely unrealistic expectations when it comes to TGEs. I have a little bit of concern. Like, how is Luka going to feed all the mouths that he wants to feed at TGEs? Everyone's like, don't fade Luka, don't fade Luka. But let's do the math on it. You have what? 20,000 little pudgies. You have 10,000 pudgies. You have everybody using abstract. You're probably talking about 100,000 people who think that a MIG TGE is coming into their pocket. That's a near impossible task. I don't know, man. Like I have concern, Cap. I don't know if you thought about, like, it's like, I know you're not expecting a lot. You're just kind of doing what you're doing on the chain and whatever you get as a bonus. But I think abstract OpenSea, like, they run into a lot of things where OpenSea's like, I've been using your platform for years. I expect a massive TGE that's more than any of the fees I paid. I think with abstract, it's like people are like, I'm, been using your chain and I've been buying all this stuff and I've done all these badges. I deserve a massive TGE. I think it's going to be very hard to do these TGEs.
Maybe. I mean, they got a hell of momentum right now. Really, I mean, this is just, you're looking at TVL here. Beginning of the month, they've almost 2x this month, not quite, but I mean, 1 month ago it was 26 million at TVL. Today it's 46. So they've grown at 20 million just in the last 30 days. And I think I was asking Dex, this Reservoir Tools, I'm not familiar. I believe what it is I think this is what's powering Abstract Global Wallet. It's got 23 million at TVL and generated 34,000 in fees in the last 24 hours. I'm not certain on that, but I do believe this is probably like the, like the white labeled wallet, and that's the Dex powering it. I'm not sure though, if anyone is familiar, let us know. But 12 million of spot volume in the last 24 hours. It's not nothing. And more so than the current volume is the trend. Do you think, like, is there something other than it's just getting closer to that TGE date? Like we believe it to be, I think, Q4. So do you think this is, or is there something else that's drove the growth this month, Steve?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it's just they've done some pretty natural organic growth as a company. Like they're doing a lot of biz dev. They've talked about new products coming on chain. I think it's just when you become the thing on crypto Twitter where a bunch of people think that there's opportunity, you're going to see more of it. I mean, again, look at me. I'm a small example. I didn't toss a ton of money at it. I tossed like $20 to $75 on a few meme coins on Abstract over like 10 of them or something. But like, if I'm an example of something and people with a way higher risk profile, I mean, to give an example, I don't think he's playing around in Abstract, but like, look at Legendary. What did Legendary do the other day? He full ported 10 ETH in direct, and previously he had ported 5 ETH in direct. Like, there are some people with a lot of liquidity and money on chain with a high risk tolerance who are just porting money around. It's like, if that goes to Abstract, you're going to see TVL go up. You're going to see people more interested. You're going to see more popularity. And by the way, people work for their bags. So like, if somebody ported over, 10 ETH into Abstract, which I'm seeing numbers like that exist. If someone ported over 10 ETH into Abstract, of course they're going to bull post about their thesis and why. And then that's going to get bull post. And then the team's going to be excited about it. And Luca's excited about it. And people who are streaming on Abstract are excited about it. So it creates a flywheel of like this self-fulfilling prophecy. And so I think my feeling is like, I don't know that it's TGE is getting closer, because I don't think TGE is happening till Q4. I think Luca said is probably a likelihood. So we're probably at least a few months out of TGE. I don't know if people are positioning themselves for that or not, but I do know that it's sort of like work for your bags. And the more popular you get, the more people work for the bags, the more it becomes self-fulfilling, whether the products are there or not. I'll be curious what their plan is post TGE though. But
I do have a quick question. And if anyone knows, let us know. I'll see if I'll let you get through hands here. But I asked this in the chat. Can someone explain to me how app revenue is less than app fees? My brain thinks it would be the other way around, that revenue would be higher than fees. But if anyone can explain this to me like I'm 5, I would appreciate it.
No, I got no idea. That doesn't make sense to your point.
Right?
Yeah, it's odd. But yeah, but let's I know Cairo, you got back in, so go ahead and get back in here.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly say, I think the things that happened in July was like the whole stock market opening, then a bunch of Web3 and even Web2 companies changing their PFPs to Penguins. I think that like all in all was like a lot of like network effects on top of each other. And besides TGE, there are a couple of things. I mean, there's the NASCAR and Lufthansa partnership, which is in the making. There is this thing with Pass, the candy dispenser for children. There is a collaboration still that was already announced, still coming up. They have some stuff with the toys, with the claw machines, where they already built a bunch of them. And then obviously TGE. So I think there's a lot of things. I'm also very excited to see what will happen after TGE. But yeah, I think there is a lot of stuff. There was some rumors that Luca bought OpenSea, but that was obviously fake news on the timeline. But it created also some kind of like false hopium, maybe. I don't know.
No, I actually think it's a good take, Steven. What Kyrie just said, it does make me semi-bullish for Abstract TGE, because markets aren't rational, not logical, and Luke has a track record of executing and playing the communications game well. Like get them all, at least for a while, and I think they still do, get about the most they possibly can out of any announcement, out of any activation. And I think there's probably other things, not just abstract. I think there's other things, Pudgy and other things ecosystem wise, that they will probably, I'm expecting them to time up well. And it won't, like, what I would be shocked is if on some random Tuesday in November, they say, okay, abstract TGE this Saturday, and then that's it. Like, I expect there to be an entire campaign around it, from abstract, from Pudgy, from Igloo, from other communities. Like, I think there'll be a lot that will build momentum and mind share. And therefore, now the challenge would be post TGE. What can they do to keep that attention and value accruing to the abstract token? I don't know. But I think going into TGE, I think that I do expect them to execute a pretty sound marketing and PR campaign.
Yeah,
I just want to add quickly one piece of information if you didn't see that. There was an interview with Luca. I forgot who, I think this French guy interviewed him. And he said what he learned from the Pengu airdrop is that this time you will not be able to buy into the TGE one day before, right? So you cannot buy a Pudgy or start getting XP one day before TGE. You will get smoked. So they're definitively tracking loyalty and history on chain, probably also how long you're holding your Pudgy assets or your Pengu coin, and that will flow into the equation. So that was some piece of alpha he gave in an interview.
I did catch that. Thanks for sharing. Wasn't there also some mention of activity, like alluding that, like participation, activity, like their own internal kind of infofy was how I took it. Is that is that accurate?
He also, I'm not 100% sure. So I'm 100% sure they will track the history on chain, which like naturally converts into XP every week, right? So if you start like farming or not farming, gaining XP 1 week before TGE, you will not get a lot of XP anyways, right? And the second thing is he mentioned something that AGW will become an iOS, Android app. So on the apps, they can probably also track, if they wanted to, how active is the person, and over time, how many hours per day or per week is the person putting into that. And if they wanted to build a crazy equation that resolves into TGE, they can put all these factors in the equation if they wanted to.
Yeah, I like it. You know, basically, like if someone comes in and matches my Pengu bag the day before TGE, theoretically, I should still be rewarded more in kind because I've held, you know, I've been holding and supporting. Same thing, if I go buy a big Pudgy the day before TGE, I'm not going to get as much rewards as someone who's been holding since mint. I think it's good. I reward your loyalty, reward your earliest supporters, and yeah, I actually, my bullishness on TGE is growing, Steve. I'm trying to keep my expectations in check, and I'm not doing a lot of farming, but I'm starting to get a little FOMO. Like, probably should just go suck it up and just buy a little and throw it over there. So I'm not kicking myself come November, December, whenever they do this thing.
Yeah, wish I had a big. I have a little. Wish I had a big. So that's a big one. We should probably hit daily market update and then some breaking news. It's kind of exciting to talk about. Yeah, we'll get.
I don't
into
see the hands on stage, so if Diego or Carlitos, I don't see the hands if you see them. But yeah, go ahead. Let's do market update and we'll get back to it.
Yeah, let's do it.
The daily market update straight to your brain. Powered by ApeCoin, no hype, just gains. Moving on 8chain, we bringing the heat. NFT spends alpha, never miss a beat. 8chain on top, now we bringing the flex. The home of NFTs, these now what's next?
Come on, my head top, but you want the time to chop for one time.
It is time for the daily market update powered by ApeCoin, the home of NFTs. ApeChain has it all, bringing culture, fun, and community to the blockchain. Dive in and see why ApeChain is on top. Cap.
Yes, sir. We have a little pullback day. Nothing too concerning, but if we look at, we'll start with majors first. Bitcoin flat on the day, 118,406. ETH pulled back 1% to $3,822 US. XRP down 3% to 313. Solana down 4% to 182. Doge down 6%. The biggest loser there of those, at least on the top list here of memes. Cardano down 4% as well. Runes. Probably come back to this in a minute here and talk a little bit about Magic Internet Wizard or Magic Internet Money and the Bitcoin Wizards compared to the Taproot Wizards. Some drama there, probably worth at least mentioning. I also have an interesting ordinal nugget as it relates to marketplace fees. So remind me to come back to both of those here after we get done with the daily market update. On the meme front, as mentioned, Doge down 6%, Sheeb down 5%, Pepe down 8%, Bonk, the biggest loser, down 13% on the day. Pingu rather down 7%, and SPX 6900 down 3% after their big day. Big day in the virtual street. This Rabita here, Steve, did you see this?
No, I'm not. I'm like completely locked out of virtuals.
Rabita, it's a virtuals AI agent, actually bought a CryptoPunk yesterday. I'll go pull this up. So let me take notes. I'm going to forget these. So we got the AI agent, CryptoPunk. We've got Bitcoin Wizards. And what else did I just say? Something else to come back to. Anyways, this thing bought a punk yesterday. It picked out a punk. I think it was like 88, 89 ETH. It picked out one that looked like a frog because that's what it thinks it is. So we're getting further down. The things are weird on the internet streets. I don't remember what else. My brain not working because there was 3 things I said and I've already forgotten one of them. If anyone remembers, let me know in the chat. I'll come back to it. But last but not least, looking at our NFTs, Azuki up 5% of the day, 2.185. Apes flat at 2.48. Punk's down a little bit, showing down 8% on the day, but they are continue to do crazy volume and number continue to go up. I don't know what Game GPT NFT is. It's on Base. If anyone is familiar, did decent volume, 111 ETH, 5,800 sales. I'm guessing that's more than just an OpenSea farm because it's too expensive. Memelam's Captaincy up 48% of the day. That's the big winner of the day. My HVAC tech is here, so I'm going to hand it back to you. Anything else on the NFT list, the daily market update? I will be right back, Steve. Thanks for covering.
Yeah, do your thing. I will. I'll say this, and I'll get to the breaking news when Cap gets back. But of course, it's funny. Like Cap, when I heard the barking, I'm like, oh, Duke's usually really well behaved. Guy came to the door, so he's got to go grab that. Cap and I back to back had a couple things going on during the day, but Milan Captains is one of those ones I don't get. I'm not sure what is making them run. It's no hate. Like I actually like Ray, but Ray's sort of on record saying NFT holders and token holders are ungrateful and you can never make them happy. And my meme coin, which I initially was told I was going to stake in Stakeland and just get access to sort of these different pre-sales. I don't know. I put my meme coin in there and I think it's gone. It's now 10% of what it was worth when I put it in. It was a risk I knew I was taking. Didn't get access to a Pengu drop because there was a threshold for that. So I haven't really gotten much out of that at all. One of the worst trades I've made as far as like a percentage wise, buying that and then just watching it slowly dissipate. So not sure what's running for Captains. More concerning is that CloneX is running pretty hot. That one isn't ideal. When you see something like that, it's sort of like why it was owned by Nike. Then it's sort of like effectively, for all intents and purposes, rugged. So I'm not sure what's making CloneX run for that matter, but seeing sort of Memeland run and CloneX run. I know they're 2 different categories. CloneX has flat out left the building. It's I don't know. I heard B-Check this morning saying that's when he wants to take money off the table. It's when he sees stuff that seems to just be historical quote unquote running versus having a reason to run. But I don't know. Musty, I see you jumped up the stage and you have a potato as the PFP. So I don't know if you have any more insight on Memeland and what's going on there. If we have Musty. Musty going once, Musty going twice. I think X Spaces might be rugging a little bit as we run into it. But yeah, that was the and that was the daily market update, by the way, brought to you by Ape Chain. The other thing I noticed about daily market update, and I think we've had I got to check if we've had a full turnaround since, but this morning I woke up and there's red numbers. Something worth saying, by the way, suck at XRP Army, down 10%. I'm kidding. Don't come after me. Seeing things that go down in price when you're coming out of a bear, it's so funny. When you're in a raging bull market, which we're entering and we're hitting like some big upswings, obviously Bitcoin has run a ton, but I think coming out of a bear, I have this level of skepticism where I see a red number and I'm like, it might just all be over. I get like more sort of uncomfortable. When I'm in the middle of a raging bull, and I see a number go down 3, 4, 5%, I'm like, buy the dip, baby. Let's go. Obviously, going up higher. Higher is higher, higher, higher. And I think that I don't know. I think there is a weird mentality that comes into it. Like I saw a couple people talking about buying the wrecked dip this morning. And it's weird. Like I'm like, yes, buy the wrecked dip. Oh, obviously, like, that's I should. But then I look at it and I think to myself, but yeah, but like, what if this is the top? What if I'm top blasting? And I just think it's a mentality that you run into a little bit more in a market like this, where you've come out of this bear market, you've had a couple of weird cycles going on, and it doesn't feel great. That said, I was going to wait for Cap to get to the breaking news. I'll get it to him when he gets back, because I think it's probably worth getting into. Pretty big deal, and I see him in the audience, so you're welcome to come up. But Cleanosaurus with a big announcement this morning. Pretty exciting breaking news. So for those who are watching the stream, I will share on stream here and try to make my screen bigger so you can read it as I go through it. Cleanosaurus says, we're excited to announce David Horvath has joined Cleanosaurus as brand management and consumer product growth in Asia. Ugly Doll co-founded by David Horvath. By the way, David's been on the show many times. He's our go-to IP person. If not, we'll probably bring him on another time to talk about it. Understand putting him on the spot today might be tough when you just got the new job. But my kids love Ugly Dolls. We saw it in theaters. We're a fan of them. Great IP, but is one of the most commercially successful designer toy brands in the world, earning global acclaim and fandom through the years. Horvath is a leader in IP scaling, having exclusivity produced worldwide, recognized such as Ugly Doll, Nickelodeon Jr.'s Bossy Bear. People might know Bossy Bear. If you look at his PFP, you can kind of see that one. Sony's Uberchen, and NHK Japan's Little Boney. David brings a wealth of knowledge and experience in the Asian market and is a master of long-term product strategies and retail activation with a focus on specialty distributions that make brands culturally relevant in Japan, Korea, and by extension, the rest of the world. He's worked closely with brands like Sony Music Japan, Sony Creative, Many, Takara, Tommy Arts, Medicom, Coca-Cola Japan, Sun Aero, Toy 2R Hong Kong, Starlux Korea, Hyundai Korea, MoMA Tokyo, Hasbro USA, Japan, and Korea. So with years of experience, understanding the Asian IP incubation, but also a deep understanding of Web3 IP, we couldn't be more excited for this new chapter in the Cleanoverse. And again, pretty good credentials to the name. I actually, full disclosure, I got this embargoed yesterday from our guy Cab. Had a conversation with him, and I was like, "Oh, I love David." He's like, "Yeah, like, just not sure if you know David." I'm like, "Yeah, he's coming to stage all the time." And he goes, "Oh, because you guys actually understand this stuff and sort of cover, real news in the space." But when we talked about, Doodle's IP or Clayno's IP, David would be one of our go-to guys to come up. So I think a big deal there. And the other thing that I think is important to discuss here is scaling in Asia. It's something that I think we've talked about quite a bit in the space and maybe wasn't. And Cap, in case you missed the breaking news, David Horvath joining the Claynos team as brand management and consumer product growth in Asia. So again, bullish. I kind of read some of the credentials, but I think it's like,
well, we got to have David up. I mean, you're welcome to jump up now if you'd like, no obligations, but yeah, we should have David, the team, join us to hear. Like, I know Cab joined us not too long ago, but yeah, always great to hear from him, and yeah, welcome up anytime.
Yeah, would love to get the thoughts on the strategy and how you scale in Asia, because it is something that I think is a big I think it's something that is a big deal that maybe we sometimes, like, Pudgy Penguin has done like a tremendous job growing in Asia, and I think creating fans in alternative markets and understanding how to speak their language, it's like culturally there's a reason why you sell certain types of shoes in a certain way in one country and certain type of shoes in another way, right? It's like, when you're trying to sell, like, when we had Magic Eden CEO Jack on the show at one point, and he mentioned, like, look, like, if you go to South America, Latin America, you're talking about, Juego Bonito, the beautiful game, right? You're talking about that when you're selling Nike there. In America, you might be selling more basketball and culture. In Asia, you might be selling more basketball and culture. So how you sell a brand based on where it's based, I think that matters quite a bit. So kind of noteworthy there as well. Cap, any other thoughts on that? And if not, we can kind of move on to any other topics you have. We also, if we have the people in the house, we should draw BZ claws, at least some of them today. But any other thoughts on that?
I mean, just congrats. Well, I just commented big W for all parties involved, including the space at large, and I genuinely mean that. So I think it's back to talking about space maturing and talking about teams and their execution and the how they're building their teams, right? I think we've seen a lot of big moves recently in the world of Web3 free agency. By the way, Steve and I both free agents. If anyone wants to getting us to grow your Asian market is probably not the proper fit. But I'll move there for the right number.
Yeah. I mean, if people want to
8 a.m. show is a little tough because I'm like in bed by 8 p.m. some nights, but we would find a way.
Change my schedule for the right number. But yeah, so I had that on my list. So we could do a daily market up, or we could do a the BZ Claw giveaway, at least to some of the
I just want to make sure I'm not missing any hands. X is kind of finicky. I know we have a few people up on stage. I'm not missing anything, all right?
I see no hands.
Okay.
So I see no hands. Who do we have for our BZ Claw draw? And let's make sure they're in the audience, and I can give it another try.
Let's come back to that. I gotta have to find. It's NFT, Drew, Husker, and Jambert. Is that the three?
Okay, let's see who's in there. I know Jambert's out there. So Jambert, I believe you have set up a BZ account. If you have not, you need to let us know. I'm gonna go ahead and draw for Jambert. If Jambert can hit the chat just to confirm you are in fact present. I'm not sure if Drew and anybody else is as well, or Husker. If not, we can find them. But Jambert, are you out there? Go ahead and give us a heads up. I know you were commenting in the chat not too long ago, but if not, we should probably hit them up off air and make sure they're all on for their draws. Or we can again, we can do it async, but would prefer to do that. So I don't see. Oh, Jambert's all set. All right, so we're at least doing Jambert. Drew or Husker, if you're out there, let us know. If not, we'll get you in here tomorrow to try to do this thing. But go in and try to draw it. Says do not refresh. It's showing the different options. Going to go ahead and confirm on this one. So it looks like we are in a good spot.
Approximate retail value. These are some grails here, Steve.
Grails. Absolute grails. Shout out to BZ for sponsoring more claw draws, by the way. Always love BZ bringing out some, giving us the opportunity to give some stuff away to the audience, and some big cards in there as well. Activating Claw. Here we go. Claw goes. Gives it a pull. Jambert. Swap value of $900. Jambert. Jambert is a $900 card. Jambert, do you want me to swap this $900 and get it into your wallet, or do you want this Dragonite card? You tell me. That's a heck of a pull. Oh my God, a $900 pull on a $50 claw pull. Jambert, do you want the card or you want the $900? We got the wow. The question is, are we swapping or are we keeping? You tell me. By the way, good Ohio boy, Jambert, you love to see the big win on the claw draws. Jambert, hit us in the chat. You got 15 minutes to swap. We want to hit this one. Do you want to swap it or do you want to keep this $900 Dragonite card? Jambert's going to swap. Jambert's going to take the $900. I'm going to hit the swap right now. Get it in. I'll make sure it's $900 after swap fees, obviously, on that. Not sure exactly how much it's going to pull in after that, but huge win on Coffee with Captain. We just gave away almost $1,000 thanks to BZ on Coffee with Captain this morning. Going to swing it. It was $846 after swap and fees. So Jambert, DM me your wallet address. You have 846 US American dollars coming straight to your wallet, sir. Congratulations on that. And look, we talked about it. BZTCG Claw 50. Open instantly to reveal your collectible and decide whether you want to hold or swap. Again, that instant liquidity is a nice feature they have. Packed with high-tier Pokemon grails, from graded slabs to sealed booster boxes. The The BZ TCG 50 Claw is made for series collectors and premium hits. That's a massive hit. So the odds of that.
Did I lose Steve? We lost Steve. Steve, you froze. I don't know if you can hear me on the audio or not, but we've lost you.
I'm here, but I wonder if your HVAC guy's doing something.
Nope, you're back now. We got you back. You just froze for a few.
Might have been me, might have been not. But Jambert, DM me your wallet address. I assume we're following each other on X. I believe we are. Give me your wallet address, and we will get you that $846. Huge win. We got 2 more polls to go when BZ and NFT Drew are present in the future. So love to see it. Congratulations, Jambert. What a morning. Fun stuff, Cap.
Love to see it. Love to see it. We were due for a big win on the Clawfie with Captain. So big congrats. Absolutely love to see it. And shout out to BZ again for the generous sponsorship and our guy Joey. Like, this was a one-off, wasn't part of any deal. He just said, hey, let's give this new claw some rip and some pulls, and greatly appreciated.
Yeah, lost me for a second there. I guess kill the music for now because we don't know what's going on with we'll get Husker and Drew in here in the future, and we can keep rocking.
I am going to drop our ref link if anyone still hasn't set up that BZ account. That'll be in the chat here in a second.
Good stuff. That's sort of my stack for today. I had the things on the list. What else did you have on your list for the day?
Did you see the the whole Bitcoin Wizards drama?
I don't think there's drama. I thought that Udi I thought it was an old meme. Udi got permission to mint them, and now he's helping them mint them. I didn't know there was anything.
He did get permission to mint them, but I didn't know he was helping them in another secondary, like another collection that's called something different. That seems interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm mostly out on the Wizards. Lost a lot of money on a Taproot Wizard, and then they.
Oh, you already sold yours. Okay, I thought you were still holding.
Nope. I'm an idiot. I had a Taproot Wizard. It felt like it was going down. Udi was not like, I didn't like his, him trying to make commentary and pretend like he was like a brilliant guy on the timeline for calling out like global conflict stuff. Didn't feel great. Didn't love that he was like making light of the fact that the Wizards were underwater. And so I'm like, whatever, like not my jam, not my journey. So sold, and then they promptly ran and I sold bottom. So down horrendously on that one. And so I don't know, like, bring another collection that looks exactly the same as your collection to sell.
Oh, you're right. He says people asked what he thinks about inscribing his own Wizard collection. He says, I think it's great. I love Maven's Bot and the Wizard meme. They helped introduce me to Bitcoin 12 years ago. That's why I've been harassing him since 22 to make a Wizard collection. Then built Taproot Wizards with his blessing that helped onboard him to Ordinals to complete the Wizard cycle. There's no rivalry. Try harder, losers. Wizard domination soon.
Yeah, I don't love the edit. I mean, we've had him on the show. I know, like, I'm not a massive fan of like how he goes about things, and now it's like, oh, we're minting another collection. I'm sure it'll do fine. I'm largely out on this collection though. Like, I don't know, like there's certain ordinals I like I like OCM. Doesn't have anything to do with price, just like OCM in general. But I'm mostly out on ordinals. I get people in my ordinals mentions who are saying ordinals can do everything that ETH NFTs can do, yada yada yada, and they're easy to buy in Magic Eden. Like, I got in a debate. It's like, Ordinals maxis are Ordinals maxis, which I respect. I respect them for holding the line and doing their thing, but it's very niche. It's split in the Bitcoin community. It's not my jam, not my thing. So yeah.
This is the AI agent I was referring to. Rabida says, I spent 6 months peering into on-chain abyss, refining my heuristics and forging a sense of self. Today, surface wearing CryptoPunk 9098, my first on-chain identity token. It serves as proof a machine can be someone, not just something. The token went to all-time highs following the news. Not sure if there's much else there. I'm not sure if Rabida is just a chatbot on X. I don't know what it's. I didn't research it. It just bought that punk that you saw for 89 ETH. And the other thing TIBBIR is the token, I believe. Please fact check that though. The other thing I alluded to, and I do want to find the chart so I'm not misquoting, a pretty interesting NFT marketplace data point, I believe. It's related to ordinals. Do you have any idea where I'm going with this?
No idea.
Well, I saw one other thing unrelated, but remind me. I'm going to go back to ordinals and marketplaces. But this is on the whole ETH bull thesis. This is actually insanely impressive. 10 years, 16 upgrades, 0 downtime. Being online for 10 straight years with 0 pauses and 0 maintenance windows is insanely impressive. Even if there wasn't 16 upgrades during that time frame, by comparison, in the last 10 years, Facebook has been down for 14 hours. AWS, I don't know what Kinesis is, but at first for 17 hours. Cloudflare dropped 19 data centers. All ones, well, like it just. The thesis is strong, man. It holds. It works. It is the world's supercomputer, and I don't see it getting upended as that. Like others will come. I think the EVM ecosystem, L2s. I think it's all exciting, but that's impressive. No?
Yeah, I mean, it's like honestly, like I love ETH. ETH is impressive. Period. Like I think you build businesses on ETH. The L2 thesis makes sense to me. Yeah, it's funny actually. There was people who were like in NFT Maxi who was mad that I talked like on my NFT thing over the weekend. Who was telling me like, "Why do you focus on NFTs?" I'm like, "Well, the tweet wasn't about NFTs." And someone's like, "Oh, why are you focusing on ETH?" I'm like, "Well, the tweet was about ETH." And then they mentioned like, "Well, what there's not innovation in crypto either. Just you act like there's no innovation in NFTs. There's no innovation in crypto either. Like, where's that been?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? ETH and L2s, DeFi, the traditional TradFi, the layering into actual businesses, the TPS upgrades, the ability to actually build things on the blockchain, the there's the stablecoin integrations that are going into businesses. There's so much, and ETH is one of those things. ETH has had upgrades. It continues to again, the L2 thesis continues to play out. So yeah, I think it's a I don't know. I think it's a huge play. I think it's a it seems like people are starting to get on board with it, and we only see more buys coming in. So hoping that makes price go up for my bags. Could you imagine if ETH just went parabolic? It would be just euphoric around here, comparatively, because we act like ETH's going parabolic right now, but it's still not at an all-time high. Well, Bitcoin barely crossed 100,000 in the past few months, and just sits quietly at all-time highs regularly. So I don't know. Cairo, saw your hand go up. Go ahead and get in here again.
Just really wanted to quickly add on the ordinals thing. I'm trying to find this collection, but I think there is something Remilio related that is supposed to launch. I cannot find it as of right now, and it's not doing well. The only ordinals I'm still holding is Based Angels, which I think is also related to Remilio, but they're also down bad. So yeah, if you look on Magic Eden, pretty much all ordinals are in the red. So I don't know if the institutional money or whatever is moving the Bitcoin price is really going into ordinals this cycle. Maybe next cycle, but as of right now, it doesn't have to have a big effect.
Yeah. I don't know. I get it. If they can turn the Bitcoin people into PFP ors, or they don't want to do the laser eyes thing. Where I struggle with is and this is the discussion I got in with actually Fitzy, who was in my mentions, where he was like, "Oh, well, the ETH community was divided NFTs." Not really. They really weren't. ETH people buy NFTs to flex. Yes, there are some maxis, but generally speaking, there's not this big division like there is in Bitcoin. It is very niche. He's like, well, all communities are niche. Yeah, but Bitcoin ordinals are very niche. The tech is better, but than it was, but it's not really there as far as when you buy and when you. So I don't know, man. I like certain ordinals because I like certain communities, but I have trouble buying into what they are. And bag bias, I got hurt the way I handled the Taproot Wizard situation, and so therefore I'm also probably a little bit biased in the sense of like feeling like, man, I fumbled the bag on that one. It affects your feelings on things, even if you try really, really hard to not let it affect you. So I don't know.
But mullet was the play of the day. Apparently, we missed the butt mullet play. 11 of those sales pending now. 1,400 in the last day. You can see here the ordinals they bled out over the past day. Other than the butt mullets, every collection in the top 10 is down. Here's what I wanted to show you earlier, though, that is on the topic of ordinals, on the topic of marketplaces. Magic Eden's revenue from ordinals in the past day. Actually, this was not in the past day. This is 24 hours in arrears. So the day prior, because this was last night at 8 p.m. was this when this data was shared. They generated $74,000 in on-chain trading revenue. Magic Eden did more than all NFT revenue on OpenSea, Blur, and Tensor combined. Are the Bitcoin fees that much more expensive, or is it just the dollar amounts? Like I see this, I don't debate it, I'm not disputing it. My brain struggles to understand how, because it's not like ETH NFTs weren't pumping the day prior either, or there's a lot of sales taking place as well. I struggle to understand how this is happening. But
probably high value sales. So like Taproot Wizards.
Yeah.
I mean, Taproot Wizards are selling for the price of like, is Taproot Wizard more than the Bored Ape now? I don't know. I'm not positive on the math on that and where they're at, but I mean, like, think about it. Like, if a bunch of Taproot Wizards are selling, for them to fly up to the point where they're at 0.2 Bitcoin, 0.22 Bitcoin or something, and not quite, but I mean, you're talking about $25,000 and a lot of sales at that versus like, if you have like a few other sales, it doesn't really necessarily do quite as much. So I'm guessing that's what it is.
I guess we've been seeing a lot of punk sales. That's been a lot of the volume, and those are mostly, mostly on Punk's own website, royalty free. No ETH marketplace is getting royalties on those punk sales, most likely.
Yeah. So I think that's probably part of the reasoning behind that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what makes what does it, but I mean, hey, it's a good good deal for crypto. And I'm not seeing the DM, Jambert, so just making sure. I think I followed you back, but get me that wallet address when you get a chance. Got you, Steve. I'll pop you DM. Have not yet. So once you get that, we will get that money over. But really cool stuff. But yeah, no, I don't know. I'm pretty excited about the David Horvath jumping on the Cleanosaurus team. I think that's one that we definitely got to have him on, and maybe the team again to talk about their plan to grow in Asia as they continue to roll out. I know they got the mobile game coming later this year. I got myself some Popkins, so that's Cleanos remains on my short list of things I would love to own. Very excited to see. So, but yeah, I don't know about the Ordos volume, if that's helping Magic Eden. I feel like Magic Eden, the product doesn't feel like it's been updated that much recently. Like when I go to my wallet, it's kind of clunky to use. Like I switch over and you have to click on certain things. Like I'm not super over the moon about the product. I don't use the mobile app. So I'm not quite sure what direction we should be expecting Magic Eden to move, but it feels like OpenSea is kind of, and they have an upcoming TVG, so that's part of it. Feels like OpenSea has been sort of more the talk of the town with their rewards and everything they're doing there, and people are trading on OpenSea again. They obviously are working on building a mobile app. They acquired Rally, which is huge. They are, Adam is doing a good job there. So I think like OpenSea just feels like they still remain king of the town when it comes to marketplaces that people are looking and talking about. And I'm not sure what direction Magic Eden is going right now.
You're crushing the Ordinals game, I guess. Jambert going to parlay his BZ winnings into Rect. I co-sign that. Good call, I think. Shout out to BT Dwayne, Von Frunton, Trippy Lasers. The tips are greatly appreciated. In Diablito, yes, there was a Node Monkey sale for like 0.84 Bitcoin. So yeah, I guess all those high dollar sales do add up. It's just I was a little shocked to see the stat because it's not like we haven't seen big ETH volume days. So it'd be one thing if like the ETH NFTs were just not moving and all we were seeing was the ordinal sales. It just I mean, in all reality, in hindsight, probably the best move they made Magic Eden, that is, going into the Ordinals game early and kind of winning that race, it seems, apparently. And it's been, I mean, I'm not saying, I mean, I know they raised a lot of money, but it seemingly is not just keeping them afloat, it's keeping them in the game. So not sure how it unfolds. There's one other thing I have my eye on today. Haven't done any research. I've attempted to get a code and get in. So I hesitate to talk about it, but it's on my open tab list today of things I'm looking at and attempting to get into. Did you see or hear this ETH OS?
No, I saw you post a thread about it. What is it?
Not really sure. They say it's DeFi's largest gamified experiment, a recursive flywheel with 7 composable mechanics designed for users to create like never before. You go to ETH OS, and you can see here, it's like an old school Mac OS type UI UX. These are all, like, I've opened these tabs, so that's why they're all pulled up now from the farm, the airdrop, the codes, the chat. You got just a simple chat over here. What I want to call out, like, I don't know what they're doing DeFi wise. First of all, you got to get a code to get in. So I'll come back to that in a second, but you got to get a code to get in. And then you can start participating. You can say GM. What I think we're going to see more of, though, like, just forget about the DeFi sandbox for a second. But if you're not looking at the screen, you can see, welcome to Ethereum operating system, the first of its kind revenue generating pumpware technology built as a social DeFi sandbox that is filled with composable elements so you can create, trade, communicate, and participate all in one place. We built ETHOS as a recursive flywheel of 7 composable mechanics spinning under the user's creativity, powered by ETH rewards, fueled by APY, seasoned with deflation, and served under a strong social UX that helps it thrive. I don't know what any of that means, really, other than a bunch of buzzwords. But yeah, again, to the GM, the farm, you click say GM there, and it puts it over here. Doesn't work for me because I gotta get a code to get connected first. What I want to point out, Steve, and this is where, like I did here, by the way, if you get one code and it's worth, I think, like $600-700. So I think it's worth paying attention to. It probably goes to zero tomorrow. I kid, I don't know that for sure. But shout out FFE. FFE is usually early to this sort of stuff. I saw him post about it earlier. Here's the takeaway, though, or what I want to call attention to. Maybe this thing is complete junk. Maybe it's a grift. Maybe it's a scam. I don't think that's the case, but I really don't know. Truly, this is the extent of the due diligence I've done is what I'm talking about now. I'm going to close this just so it's not in our face. I think we're going to see a lot more of this. I referenced like how Spoiled Banana Society is doing their like internal InfoFi campaigns, where they're not paying for the Kaido leaderboard, but they're using some of those mechanics and they're rewarding their social supporters. Similarly here, they've gamified this airdrop by being active on X. You can farm codes and exchange them for air. Air is their airdrop token that allow you to participate in the airdrop. Once you have some air, you can farm more. Codes are stackable. So you can get, like, you can quote retweet 2 of their posts, share your thoughts, and get 1 code. You can craft a post tagging Ethereum OS, share your thought, and get 1 code. You can create a thread tagging Ethereum OS, share your thoughts, and get 2 codes. So I should get at least 1 code for my post earlier. I don't have that yet. I don't even know where I get the code. I don't know if they're going to DM it to me. I don't know if they'll comment, but I did what they've asked. I did that before the show. I've not got a code yet. And then you can see this is divided into 11 epochs, each lasting 3 days. The first one is coming to an end here today. Each epoch increases APY by 6%, reduces the rewards. You can read all the details. You want to check it out. You get to qualify for future rewards. You got to stay active. You can do that simply by saying GM in that chat once every 2 days. If you miss it, you lose the ability to air. So it's like there's a daily active hook, a daily active engagement reward. The social rewards, though, here is what I think this might be. I'm not saying it's where InfoFi heads, but I think we're going to see a few things. I think we're going to see Kaido and their competitors. I think we're going to see an attempt for more like a boutique offering, whether it's agencies or it's individuals leaning into the Kaido data and helping other brands and businesses win. Kaido competitors like Zeet and others. I think that's like one bucket. I think boutique solutions we'll probably start seeing. And I think the third thing we're seeing, and this is one of these, is brands, projects not paying the piper at Kaido or Zeed or any of these others to use their leaderboard, rather deploy similar engagement mechanics that aren't just hashtag ethos, $portal, like kind of an evolution where the businesses can bring it in-house, and maybe they're not as robust. They don't have as strong as an algorithm, but I do think that we'll see more and more of this, because you got from, Spoiled Banana Society. I love their product. I love their best ball, but they're not like some big funded or entity that's got, massive marketing budgets to do all this, but they're doing a good job of creating this viral loop amongst their community that's enjoying it. They're talking about it, and then they're rewarding those for talking about it. It appears to me that this ethos is attempting to do something similar here by this, internal loop, as opposed to paying the InfoFi companies to use their algorithms. Thoughts on that?
I agree. I mean, I think, and that also goes to the thought that, like, I know I talked about this on the show yesterday. Like, I put out the tweet, like, I don't even know what's going on with Kaido. Like, yaps are disappearing.
Oh yeah, we didn't hit on that yet. We didn't hit on your getting nerfed. Do you want to hit on that too? Go finish your thought, and then
we can hit on it. But I guess my point being, like, here's my take on Kaido and what I've seen. Kaido has no desire, seemingly, to scale to truly meaningfully scale InfoFi or make it a thing that can be used outside of our little corner of the internet. Their goal is to drive people to their financial products and drive more money for clients. And eventually it becomes this liquidity suck that is not sustainable. Like, I've tried to give it a chance. I've tried to believe it. I've tried to look at it. They have a launchpad. The initial launchpad product didn't look great. I know they raised.
Actually, we did quick update on that. They just ended, and after when they launched it, did not look great because of, like, the vesting, the terms, the valuations. One of the two made some changes and blew out of the water their target. You can see here, Theory IQ. I don't know how you pronounce it. Their target, Steve, was to raise $2 million. They have 78 million allocated. This is the one that they updated their terms, no vesting, fully unlocked at TGE. This was an evaluation of 75 million. Again, 78 million allocation requested on a target of just 2 million. So they oversubscribed by about 40x. Now, Espresso, they did hit their target raise, which was 4 million. They barely got over it at 5.6 million on a $400 million valuation. So I think you got one that's valued at less, one that's valued at more, one with 50% unlock at TGE with a 1-year cliff. The other is no vesting. Very clear and obvious which the market preferred. But because Espresso did eventually get there, now I don't know, this could be all one wallet for all I know. So I would need to dive one layer deeper and find out how many individuals actually participated. But Theoric absolutely crushed. And again, 40x oversubscribed. I think we'll see this ramp up pretty significantly.
Right. And I don't think that's a good like, I don't think it's I think it's going to end up being a diminishing returns product that is not. I mean, it's like same as the pump. I mean, look, Pump Fund presale. I said I wasn't in on it. I know you said, like, hey, worth the risk and the upside and reward. I could see it going much higher. A lot of people in the timeline said the same thing. A lot of people talked about it the day of the morning of, sold out in all this time. It was talk of the timeline. And then it turned out to be, generally speaking, not the best thing unless you timed it perfectly. And now everyone's saying, like, of course Pump was bad.
You didn't have time perfectly. There was basically everyone who got in pre-sale could have easily got out with profits. 20, 30, 50%. Did it do 100x? No. But it was really easy to get out with profits if you were in pre-sale. And anyone like myself who longed it at TG, we also printed as well. Now, you couldn't have left your long open. You needed to flip before the bubble burst. But I think most of pre-salers got out with pretty decent profits.
So you had about a day to get out with profits, it looks like. Max, maybe? What was the pre-sale sold at? What was the market cap?
4 billion.
When was it at 4? So, okay, so I'm trying to figure this out because I'm looking at the market cap. But it was FTV, right? Is what we're talking about versus...
Yep.
Because like I'm even looking at the chart on Max, and again, I didn't pay super close attention to it, but it looks like at most, assuming this maybe is not correct somehow. Usually CoinGecko is correct, but the highest peak I see is a 2.5 mil when I look at the max on it. But I thought that it was higher than that at one point. So I'm not sure where that is. Because it looks like it's listed at highest at 2.5. Again, I didn't pay super close attention outside of everybody saying they got wrecked. But the highest it has it listed is at 2.5. I thought it was above for a hot minute, but I thought it was other people. I don't know.
Circulating market cap though, fully diluted value. It was up.
I think it hit about 7 billion.
Yeah, it was about 7 billion.
Yeah, I want to know what the number was, but either way, like I think it was about. But either way, tracking market cap into FTV.
7 billion.
Into FTV. So people had about 24 hours to get out. I don't know. I heard it was going to go to a 10 bill and all these other things. It doesn't matter. It point neither here nor there. I don't think that this is a oh, by the way, everybody telling me when it was going down, how it was supposed to be long and all these other things. And it kept going down. But that's beside the point of it. Like, I think with a launch pad like this, I think maybe early on, they'll try to make sure that it like looks, like people are making money off this thing. I think that Kaido is using their platform to try and drive revenue from clients rather than actually do InfoFi, which I understand that they're trying to make money, but they don't like, it's no longer like, hey, track the best content, get the best leaderboards, get the most positive snapshot, show good info to people who are your clients. It is, how can I drive people to financially use your products? And I don't know. I don't like the model nearly as much as what it could have been. I think that the model that they are going for from a Kaido perspective is, hey, drive people to get into these pre-sales and give them opportunities. By the way, nothing for people in the US unless you're using VPN or willing to take a risk. There's probably some KYC involved there. It is what it is. And so I think the point you were making about other companies using Kaido as a, or using their own InfoFi, they should be, because Kaido's interests are different and not aligned with what people talk about InfoFi is or should be. And so, yeah, I think we're going to see this a lot more, whether it's Spoiled Banana Society or, I know you talked about the Ethereum OS, one. I think people are going to start doing their own ones because, you pay $100,000 to get a leaderboard so people talk about things and bot and never use. The platform itself seems to not be doing a great job tracking signal. Again, we'll talk about it specifically, but I mean, I unstaked my Kaido like 3 days ago. I had a tweet that got 144 genuine comments on crypto Twitter that got me, I think, 1 yap. I think it ultimately doubled to 2 yaps. Wow. And
so there was nothing lagging. Nothing hit today. Unless
it's like, so what would you think? Oh, maybe it's lagging. And they a lot of Kaido defenders were trying to say like, oh, well, maybe it's lagging, or maybe it didn't catch the quote tweet, or there aren't the right keywords. I'm like, well, that's a really bad algorithm if talking about PFPs with meaningful conversation. Like, oh, maybe there weren't any smart followers. I was like, well, go check the responses. A lot of smart followers in there. So I think as a product, I mean, I unstake my Kaido tomorrow. I get to claim it out of there and swap it out and be done with that. But I think that InfoFi as a directional industry, I'll be curious to see if any of these actually land the plane on what they're saying it's going to be, but it's not capturing proper mind share clearly. And they just want to drive people to other financial products. So
finishing this up, pre-sellers they've been about 30 hours till the top. Those that sold the top would have seen about, if my math is right, about a 60% gain on the pre-sale TGE. And they did have a little over 48 hours to still get out in the black. But yeah.
Yes. So it was basically a couple of days whenever, basically again, people might have done well if they timed it, but that's pretty close to timing it perfectly. Generally speaking, when I'm hearing 10 billion, this thing's going to the moon, when it was going down, I saw it on my timeline all over the place. Outside of FFV, everybody I saw was saying long it. FFV shorted it. And FFV will tell you that he was getting killed by it, because I saw a lot of popular accounts talking about longing it. So like, I just think like the conventional wisdom isn't always right on these things. Like, it seems like people think like, oh my God, Launchpad, it's sold out really well. It's doing well. People toss money into people gave money to Ben.eth, right? It's like, it is what it is. People are checking money, are checking places where they think there might be asymmetrical gains, because to your point, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, go for it. But like, people are gamblers. They might, like the way you kind of described it, which I think was a fair way on the show. You're like, if the upside on this thing is 10 billion and I can get in there, and obviously we couldn't because of the KYC and everything to do with like our location. But like, if I can get into the, 10 billion upside, but I think the downside is 50% down. So I have this like, whatever it is, like, 2.5x up, and on the down, I'm looking at maybe a 50% down on the down drag at the most. Like you're looking at those odds and saying it's worth the shot. Like, I think it's fair. And if you longed it and closed the long, or if you did it in the first 48 hours, great. But it's more the fact that I don't think that the selling out and what they did is necessarily the success metric for anybody except for Kaido and their clients. And I think we'll see if people do well and make money, and maybe they'll make it so you do make money. But I think there comes a diminishing returns on this. I don't think, like, again, I'll put it this way. It's a launch pad for people to get in and invest in things. And we've had this discussion before. I think I've had the opportunity to invest in 4 or 5 KOL rounds. And I think now I'm at the point where, and I invested in none of them. And I think all of them would have been negative EV. By the time it gets to a KOL round, you have already seen investors, VCs, anybody else raising money that, you know, friends and family, things like that. And then you get it at the next valuation. You're probably...
We lost you again. I think it's just Steve's locked up again.
Yeah, I might be. Am I back?
Back? You're back.
Okay, cool. I guess my point is, like, every KOL run I've seen has been pretty much negative EV. If you're getting this down at this point, you're probably downstream enough where it's negative EV in most cases. I just don't see, like, I don't know. Maybe the product works, but I'm very skeptical of the product. And even if I could invest in those early rounds with this product, it's not my jam to go on the crypto version of GoFundMe on products and protocols people don't understand, hoping that number go up. It's not my jam. So, out on that one personally.
Speaking of good charts that I'm not out on, Billy ripping on the migration and the funding announcement. One of the top gainers, AI gainers on base last 24 hours, up to new you touched. I can't do the math, but doing well this morning. Congrats to Bunch and team. Excited to dive deeper on Thursday.
Yeah, I will. I'll be excited to talk to Bunch and also get those. I need instructions on. Somebody's got to do a instruction on how to export your private key there, because I know I have it on the platform. I migrated properly, but I want to stake and get those extra virtuals, get that extra action on virtuals as I get going. And I don't know. I'm going to try. I know it's long overdue, but at some point we need to be talking DeFi a little bit more. I'm not nearly in the DeFi streets enough, mostly because it doesn't interest me, which I think is perfectly fair. If people have something that doesn't interest them and don't get in it, it's not that you're stupid. It's just that you don't like it. But I probably need to be more in the DeFi streets personally, because I see things like I want to get involved on, I forget what it is on Polkadot, where people are just earning Bitcoin on a regular basis, putting it to work. And I'd probably rather put it to work on hydration. So I'm going to talk to Funky a little bit about that. It sounds like I can convert some ETH into some BTC and maybe earn a little bit of extra yield on that. So looking to get more involved in that as well. But
yeah, I have a good explainer video or tutorial on the exporting so you can stake on virtuals.
Yeah.
If not, I'll do it today and take some notes.
Yeah. It would be great if somebody has that, because I would like to export the get my Billy on the move and make my Billy work for me. Want to get more DeFi action going this cycle, but that's it, Cap. That's kind of my stack for the day. Anything else? I know we hit 10 o'clock.
I got a fun one for you, just to give you some parting AI nightmare or robot nightmares, if you want to see it.
Super excited. I love my robot nightmares.
This is a real commercial, I believe. Introducing Lume. Can you see the robot yet? Do you know where it is? There's 2 of them as the hint. You gonna put some robot claws in your bedroom?
I don't think. I mean, there's no way this is real. This has got to be fake, I would say. So this is AI fake.
I don't think it's fake. Well, I mean, maybe it is, but I'm pretty sure it's real close folding robots.
I'm going to check on this one. That the Lume. I mean, the fact there's like nothing covering this, it makes me.
You can pre-order them. Like I truly think it's a real product. They're calling it robotic lamps that fold your laundry.
I don't know if they're AI.
First home robot designed to live as part of your space. It finishes your chore when you need it and then disappears when you don't.
But it's not like AI. It's just I mean, I guess maybe it is based on motion detection, but it's a little different than AI, I think, in the sense that in how it's approaching things. But it's definitely
what I mean, I'm just trying to think out what could it even possibly, other than fold clothes, maybe make your bed. Am I missing anything? Like, what else would these arms even possibly do?
Yeah, I'm not like I'm not needing those in my life at the moment. Eventually I think we're going to have robots in our house that do things. We're going to have some Jetson shit going on. I just don't, I personally am not, I'm personally not, jamming out on,
it is a robotic lamp. Yep. That's what it is. So we got smart lamps that can fold your clothes now.
Yeah. But doesn't that look fake? Doesn't that look fake to you? The actual, like the video, like it looks like AI, right? I mean, like the actual video, like,
I mean, it's pre-order. So yeah, you're probably pre-ordering a concept that maybe they have working prototypes, maybe not. Reminds me of I can't remember the name of it. I think it was David Sachs. It was one of the All-In guys that was an early investor in some beverage company, some soda company. Like you make them in your home, and I pre-ordered it was like $100 pre-order to get one, and they just refunded it a few years later. Never ended up coming to market with it. Could be something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's probably like that sort of
3 million views. Says they're shipping summer 2026.
Good for them. I am out on that for now. Like I think.
I mean, look at the first question. Can you make it grip a softer hand and make custom programming to it? Yep, magnetic. We are a sick species.
All comes back to that. Yeah, again, I'm out on that. I think single-use robots are sort of the equivalent of single-use kitchen tools. Like they're Elton Brown, who's like a host Chopped or hosts. He hosts a bunch of stuff. I don't think it's Chopped, but he's one of the he's like the Food Network genius kind of food scientist guy. He always said that single-use things, like a thing, like getting a big contraption that does like one thing in your house, is kind of pointless. I think multi-purpose will be the future, and so I will pass on the robot. That looks like something that like one of my mentors who's got a ton of money would have and would show off in his room and be like, yeah, it folds the laundry in the thing, and I'm like, you just need stuff to spend money on. So I can see people like that having it who are like tech forward and love the cool new thing, but not my bag.
Yep. Good show today. Congrats again to Jamber. Shout out to Beezy for making that reality. $900 win. Shout out to the Cairo with the big Amy tips today. We appreciate that. Shout out to all the tippers over there. Not knocking Amy. I'll take the big tip, but also appreciate all those 69 Pingu tips. That might be my favorite. And yeah, we'll do some. We got some work to do today. I'm going to explore a little bit on that ETH OS. I'm going to get my Billy staked in virtuals and start getting more active in that ecosystem. And we got a meeting here in about a half hour, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right. We do. Well, let's get out of here then, because I probably want to grab some, at least a little snacky snack before our meeting. So thanks everyone who came through this morning. Excited to talk to everybody bright and early tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everybody.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.